Hi everyone, today we're studying about vitamin B12, intrinsic factor, and pernicious anemia. This is very commonly confused. So, vitamin B12 is also known as cobalamin. This is a very important vitamin, and you need to have liver, fish, and meat, other than that, milk and eggs in your diet in order to have sufficient amounts of vitamin B12. So those people who have a strict vegan diet, they're at a greater risk of developing vitamin B12 deficiency. And vitamin B12 is such an important vitamin because it allows DNA synthesis, it allows RBC maturation, it helps with the myelin sheath synthesis, which is so important for our neurons, right? Now, there's one thing that when the vitamin B12 it comes in the stomach, how does it come in the stomach? Obviously it's there in the food, right? The food that we eat. So in the stomach there are high chances when that food is getting digested also the vitamin B12 can get broken down, which is so dangerous because we do not want to lose our vitamin B12. So there comes intrinsic factor, which is offering a helping hand, and it's going to bind to the vitamin B12 and it's going to form a complex vitamin B12 or intrinsic factor and vitamin B12 complex. This complex is going to ensure that there's nothing that is going to damage vitamin B12, and easily it's going to be taken into duodenum, jejunum, and then finally into ileum. And in the terminal ileum, this entire complex it will be absorbed, it will be taken up. That's one way for us to protect the vitamin B12. So intrinsic factor has a very important role in protecting the vitamin B12, right? Now, intrinsic factor it is released by the cells in our body called the parietal cells. But where exactly are these cells present? They're present in the stomach, particularly in the region of the fundus and the body. So the parietal cells of fundus and body secrete the intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor offers a helping hand and it binds to vitamin B12. It protects vitamin B12, right? Right. And vitamin B12, it's very important because you only get it in diet. There's no way that our body can synthesize this on its own. So therefore, this is an essential vitamin. And this is made by microorganisms. So microorganisms that are present in the meat, food, whatsoever, they produce vitamin B12, right? Now, what happens in the case that a person is not consuming sufficient vitamin B12 in case of strict vegan diet, or if there is, due to some reason, there's some deficiency of intrinsic factor is not being formed in sufficient amounts that's required by the body. That could be either because of damage to the parietal cells or gastric mucosa atrophy, anything, right? Because of that, if there's decrease in intrinsic factor, so either of these two things, it will result in pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is a megaloblastic type anemia in which the red blood cells increases a lot in size, right? So this is all the relations, and let's read some information that is given to us by ChatGPT. So yeah, these are the food sources. B12 released from food in stomach. It binds intrinsic factor from parietal cells, and this complex is absorbed in terminal ileum. It's transported in the blood by transcobalamin 2, and vitamin B12 is mainly stored in the liver. And these are the functions. And deficiency can lead to pernicious anemia, gastrectomy, ileal disease, deficiency is caused by pernicious anemia, gastrectomy, ileal disease, strict vegan diet, or malabsorption syndromes. Actually, the causes and even the reason of um, deficiency of vitamin B12 is pernicious anemia. How is it so? Because pernicious anemia could mean either the deficiency of it's basically the deficiency of intrinsic factor, but it will cause vitamin B12 deficiency. So yeah, you'll mention pernicious anemia as a cause, right? Because pernicious anemia at the end of the day, it's the deficiency of intrinsic factor majorly. Okay, not a lot because of vitamin B12, but majorly because of the intrinsic factor. I hope that makes sense. Now, these are all the neurological causes. Paresthesia is when you experience excessive tingling sensation. Ataxia is when you are not in control of your own movements. Loss of proprioception is there, and then degeneration of spinal cord. Now here, parietal cells of fundus and body of stomach need intrinsic factor. So you can read all of this for extra information. And yes, we're done.